makeup tutorial using the products that I use every day in like the sequence that I told you. You're just gonna learn here, okay? So first I start by cleansing my face, whether if it's simply, you know, using a makeup wipe, rubbing to exfoliate any dead skin, or your normal like cleansing routine you can do as well. I have a lot of stuff. You see how red I got in the bathroom? But so once everything is prepped, what I do first is I start with the eyebrows. For you, I had you order the pencil, eyebrow pencil, which is a lot easier to apply. This is a little bit harder, but this is what I have, so I'm just gonna use you show you how to fill in the eyebrows using this, and then at least you'll learn how to use this. So with this, you're gonna need a spoolie brush and then like a kind of like an angled flat brush. So you just dip it in lightly, and what you do, and it's the same thing you're gonna do with your eyebrow pencil, is you're kind of just gonna like line up at the bottom, and with like gentle pushes, like you don't want to push too hard, just kind of push and fill in as you go. And then I start at the top and just follow your brow shape. To make them just a little bit darker and to fill in any spaces, I have a different eyebrow kit. It's eyebrow powder and eyebrow gel, which is what I'm using now. So I just take the powder and just go over my eyebrow. So after eyebrows, I like to do eyeshadow. I like to do my eyeshadow before my face because you get fallout when you're like blending and it falls on here, so there's no point of you messing up your foundation and all that stuff with your fallout. So for eyeshadow, you always want to start with like the light colors, like the blending, and then if you want to do anything darker, the smaller and the stiffer the brush gets. So like for my base colors, I always use like this one. It's like easy to blend, get it everywhere. You could also blend towards the end with this. It'll blend everything out. Blending is the main thing about eyeshadow, that way it doesn't look too like chiseled or anything. This is like a medium, like kind of stiff brush. I use this when I want to do like a medium darker brown here. I'll show you. I'll do an eye look that explains it all. This one is the darkest color you want to get because it needs to be like precise, mostly in the crease and the edges. And then this one, this flat brush, I use mostly like to add like a shimmer on the front like that. So before I do my eyeshadow though, I always put a little bit of concealer or foundation, kind of to give it a smoother area to work with so it doesn't go in any wrinkles you have on your eyelids or anything like that. And I set that with my sponge. This is a beauty blender. I set that, I just like press it in. It's also gonna hide, sometimes your eyelids have like a darker color than the rest of your skin, so it's gonna lighten that up. It's gonna make the eyeshadow look lighter when you apply it. And then this is the brush I use to wipe off my setting powder. So because there's already powder on it, I just like set it with this. I don't put any powder on it. So then I go in with the eyeshadow. So like I said, I start my base colors and my blending colors with this brush. So when I do like a eyeshadow, I like to use like more than one color, obviously. So like for my natural routine, I use this one as the lightest base coat, with this one I get a little bit darker, and then this is when I start going in the crease, and sometimes black in the crease. And then like for the outer edges I do like something along this line, and then if I want to put any shimmer I do that on the outside here. So I'm gonna start with the natural first two that I use. And what you want to do is you want to start at the corner and just let your hand go in circles back and forth. You don't really need to be on a certain plane of your eyelid here, just kind of blend it everywhere. And then I want to take that second darker color, like I said, with the same brush and blend it right over. I go like to the medium stiffer brush, which is this kind. You can see this is stiff. It holds a lot of the eyeshadow that I previously used, but it's the same color anyway. So I go in with that third darker brown that I showed you here, and I go more towards the crease and more like shorter circle strokes. I don't want to completely cover the lighter eyeshadow. I just use like towards the top. Sometimes I leave it like this. I add a little bit of the light color here. With this look you can do eyeliner or no eyeliner. When I normally do no eyeliner, I do like the whole eyelid, like more of a smoky eye. But I am going to show you how to use like the smaller stiffer brush and add a darker color into it so you can see what that looks like. So what I'm doing here is using black. I just want to tap it a little bit onto the brush, and from here you want to start at the corner and just kind of like just stay in that crease. So like when you close your eyes, that crease alone, you don't want to go over to the top, and you kind of want to push it into your eyelid like towards the center. And then what I do is I take a clean blending brush, which is like more on like the looser end and stiffer, and I go right in the center here and just blend everything together. That way the black doesn't look too fine, if that makes any sense. Everything has to go blended. So that's simple eyeshadow. That's how I keep it. And then I go in with, this is the liner that I ordered you. I put in your cart. So this is liquid eyeliner. It's easier to do your wings with this rather than with a pencil eyeliner. So what I do is I just like start from the middle here, make a thin line towards the end. Be very careful right here. I don't like doing my liquid eyeliner all the way to the outer edge, not only because I add shimmer shadow there, but sometimes your eyes get watery, and just because it's near your tear duct and stuff, it just like smears everywhere and then it ruins your eyeshadow. So I always like just stop it towards the center here. I just make sure it like thins out where that you can't tell exactly where it stops. I do that easy part for both eyes first, and then I'll do the wing. after I do that and it kind of covers it, I take my finger and I dab that light eyeshadow color that I showed you that sometimes I use over here. So for the wing, I go from my outer eye and I just make a line. And then what I do is I go to that end of the line, squint a little bit and connect it. Make a line towards the top and just connect the eyeliner you already did. See? So then after that, you put the falsies or you do your real lashes. So I curl mine. Try not to pull them out with your hand twitches, by the way. So I curl mine before the mascara because I find curling it with mascara on, it just makes it look like clumpy and crunchy. And sometimes it pulls your lashes out because the mascara sticks to the eyelash curler. So I do that once or twice on each eye. You're gonna see here, you see how it curled them? Okay, so then you can use whatever mascara you want. I use the Better Than Sex by Too Faced. And I just do like 2 coats on each eye. This mascara is bomb, by the way. After my eyes are done, I go in with the face. So what I was talking about, primer is kind of, it gives it a little bit of moisture. It covers your pores, like some of them cover your pores and stuff like that, and it just makes your application of your foundation a lot smoother. So I always make sure my hands are completely clean when I'm like putting stuff on my face, especially primer you put on with your fingers, with your hands. So the one that I use is the Porefessional Pore Primer by Benefit Cosmetics. I get a lot of this stuff in my, I do BoxyCharm. I'll tell you what it is after. But what you want to do is just take a little bit of your primer and, hold on, and rub it, and then I just like put it all over. Okay, so once that's done, what I do is I apply my foundation. A lot of people use brushes, I used to, but now I love beauty blenders. So what you do with this is, I already did it, so you kind of just wet it, squeeze a little bit for a better like dewy application, especially if you have dry skin. So I always just dab a little bit of foundation on like my nose, under the eyes, the forehead, under, right here. Sometimes I apply it straight onto the beauty blender and just like let the water and all that stuff like mix everything. But I'm gonna go wet it real quick, a little bit more. Okay, so wet a little bit more, it was already drying out. And what you do is just dab it into your skin. This is a light to medium coverage foundation, so you're still gonna see like my red spots and my acne and stuff, but I don't like entirely looking too cakey or covered. Sometimes if I do want more coverage, I mix it with like different foundations. You are able to mix different foundations together. If you do have like bigger pimples and all that stuff, like after you prime, or if you have like really dark circles or something, a lot of people like to use concealer under the foundation too, but mostly works over. Like you see this pimple here, I could have put concealer under the foundation to kind of conceal that a little bit better, but I don't really do that and I don't care too much. So then that's when you do your concealer, which is the lighter concealer. It's lighter than your foundation. It's meant to be. I haven't used this one in a while, so hopefully the consistency isn't messed up. I actually have to stock up on my own makeup. I threw out a lot of it. So what you do with this is, I mostly use it for just my under eyes. You can use it for the bridge of your nose, for here. Some people do it here or even here. I just do it for my under eye. So just too much came out of this. But you kind of just want to do like a triangle like that under. Some people do it more like this out that way. I only do a little bit, especially because I just took out a lot. So then I use that same wet beauty blender. So then what I do is, this is the setting powder that I also put in your list. This is called loose powder versus pressed powder. So pressed and loose powder do the basically are for the same thing, to set the face, to basically dry up the foundation for it not to like come off or smear. I like loose powder. It works a lot better in my opinion. I used to use pressed powder. So with pressed powder, you use like a brush. You obviously have to, it's kind of like eyeshadow, it's pressed in there. You know, get it on a brush and apply it. So for this, it's loose powder. I use a separate beauty blender, just dab it in there and put it over the parts that you want to set the most. So I would put it right here, and it's not going to stay this white. It's called translucent powder. The minute you wipe it off with a brush, it comes off. So I just do like little spots, and then I take that brush, and when I'm wiping it off my face, I just swirl the brush all over my face, so it kind of sets everything. You let that sit for, some people even do like 5 minutes and stuff. I only let it sit for the amount of time that I'm doing my contouring, which is my bronzer. For you, I put in the list, it's like a little palette. It has the contour, which is the bronzer, darker color, and it has a highlight, which I'll show you after I wipe everything off. The highlight is kind of just to highlight the areas where the light would hit you the most. Like say you're taking a picture, it'll highlight the bridge and the edge of your nose, like just it goes on here. I'll show you that. So for the contour, you always want to use like a more angled brush. The easiest trick is going like this and just going along those lines. That will make your face look thinner. You want to do it edges of your forehead. And I don't do makeup too perfect. I'm not a professional. I don't really care. As long as my makeup's done, it doesn't have to look too good. So then, once I do that, I go in with this brush that I told you I use for my pressed powder, and I just wipe everything off. Oh, there goes the lighting. And then after I do that, I go again with the same contour brush and just go up and down. So for the highlight, I like to use like this. I don't know what kind of brush. It's called a stipple brush. So it has like little thinner ones that go longer than the other ones. And I dip it into my highlighter. The highlighter is it's kind of like a shimmer. It's called an illuminator. Like this one is a liquid illuminator, which what you do with this one is you kind of just put a dot where you're gonna put it and just dab it on with your finger. But I'm gonna show you the powder one because that's what you got. So you just do this. You see how I lightened up more? It shimmers with the light. And then after I complete my face, I do my lips last, but after I complete my face, I go back to my eye with the same really small brush that you use the dark color. I go in with that darker brown. I don't do black, I do darker brown. And I go under my waterline, like down at my lash line. I want to make it pop with a little bit of the dark brown under, all the way around. And that's when I go in with my eyeliner, my pencil eyeliner for the bottom. And then to make it pop even more, I go in with like a thinner brush mascara and I go to my lower lash line. And then I go in with my lip color. You can use whatever you want. Lately I've been into gloss. This one I got off my BoxyCharm as well. It's looks pink, but it's actually, it applies clear and it's a lip plumper. But I'm just going to use a matte liquid lip gloss, so Velvet Matte. At this stage, I would use setting spray, which comes in a little bottle. You just shake it a little bit, do like a couple sprays, like 6 inches from your face, and it basically locks everything in so it doesn't smear. But that right there is the final look. You don't look too cakey, the eyes are more nude. It's basically a video for Jess, my sister, so if it's not that informative, I'm sorry. If it's not a normal look, it's just an easy tutorial. If you do have any questions, just text me.